Man cannot live on bread alone. Jesus quoted that to the devil in Matthew 4. He was quoting Deuteronomy, but actually it's not that passage that I want to speak to. It's the principle though. In John 6, an amazing chapter. Read it through. I really encourage you to read it through. But what we have is Jesus feeding the 5,000, but then this same crowd follow him. And now they're full of, in a sense, full of faith now. They've seen the signs and wonders, it says, and they follow him across the lake. At one point, Jesus even wants to hide from them because they want to forcibly make him king. So the people are feeling it. They have seen miracles. They've eaten the bread. Then they cross the lake. Now, Jesus changes the game. And maybe you have this experience in your life too. They have seen, they have eaten, now they come to Jesus. And Jesus cuts through to true motive and he gives them a real test. He said, listen, you're not looking for me now because you've seen the signs and wonders of God. You're looking for me because you've eaten bread. You've had your fill. You've been provided for. That's why you're coming to me now. And then Jesus says to them, he says, do not work for bread that spoils, but for food that endures. Right? This is verse 27. So now Jesus is testing them. There's food and then there's food. Just like as Paul writes in Timothy, life that is truly life. This is where Jesus draws a line. And this is where it starts, the rubber hits the road. Like he said to the devil, man cannot live on bread alone. Now, Jesus was hungry when he said that. He needed bread. But there was still a time and a test. So here in John 6, Jesus provided them with bread, but now he challenges them. He says, listen, don't work for bread. Don't work for food that spoils, but for food that endures. Then the people ask him. These are very important verses, 28 and 29, verses to memorize. They said, what must we do to do the work God requires? And Jesus says, the work of God is this, belief. To believe in the one he has sent. Now, Jesus goes on, famously, verse 35, I am the bread of life. He who believes in me will never go hungry, will never thirst. I am the bread of life. Now, you know, they came looking for more bread, and Jesus did not give them more bread. He now brought the spiritual message, the eternal message. He stretched them, and maybe you're being stretched in this. I'm being stretched in this. Jesus is saying, listen, what about the true bread, the bread from heaven, the bread of life? He says, don't work for that which spoils, work for that which endures. Now this is powerful because what happens here, if you look down in verse 66, it says many disciples turned away and stopped following him. So when Jesus provides for people, man, we want to make him king, right? It says in Matthew 5:45, he makes the sun to shine on the righteous and the unrighteous, the rain to fall. In Acts 17:25, we're told he gives life and breath and everything to everyone. God is the great provider. And when we're experiencing God's abundance, we are for him. We follow him. We cross the lake. We want more of him. But when he stops, when he doesn't produce that bread and says, hold on, I want to talk to you about the bread of life, the bread that comes down from heaven, me, that which is worth more. Many of us, like those disciples, we drift away. The winds blow. We need to go find bread we can eat. We have no more time for this spiritual talk. We're feeling the pinch. We're feeling the burn. But that's the moment. That's our moment of faith, when heaven meets earth and we have to choose bread and the pursuit of bread over the pursuit of the bread of life, Jesus Christ. And that's our moment to really see kingdoms divide. What kingdom do we stand in? What do we hold to? You know, in Revelation 3, and I'll end with this. Revelation 3, Jesus commends one church out of 7. And he says to them, and it's the church of Philadelphia, he says, I know you have little strength, but you have kept my word and have not denied my name. And they go on to receive powerful, powerful recompense and blessing from God for that faithfulness. When we have little strength and we're tempted and torn and we're coming to Jesus for bread, and he wants to deal with us about the bread from heaven, that's our moment to stand strong and say, yes, Lord. My flesh and my heart may fail, Psalm 73, 25 to 26, but God is my strength and my portion. Your love, O Lord, Psalm 63, 3, is better than life. We are here. We are staying with the bread of life. So he turned to Peter at the end of John 6. He said, are you going to leave me too? Verse 67, and Peter said, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We believe and know you are the Holy One of God. And Jesus said, my Father has revealed this to you, Peter. And this is our moment, my friends. We need bread, but we need bread from heaven. And I just encourage you in that test. Hold fast. Make that confession of faith and wait on God. He will deliver. God bless you.